So the Washington Post is reporting that ICE detains 4 children from Minnesota district, including a 5-year-old. Washington Post says Immigration and Customs Enforcement agents in Minnesota have detained at least 4 children from the same school district this month, including a 5-year-old boy. School officials in Minneapolis suburbs said Wednesday. The events have inflamed tensions between residents and ICE officers, sparked by the fatal shooting of 37-year-old Renee Good by an ICE officer this month. The Trump administration has sought to justify the presence of ICE personnel by saying the officers are detaining immigrants convicted on violent crimes. The administration doesn't have to justify ICE's presence. The fact that there are illegal immigrants in Minnesota and Minnesota does not detain and turn these illegal immigrants over to the federal government for deportation is the only justification that ICE needs. And it bothers me that the Post would even portray it like this, right? But it gets worse. Why detain a 5-year-old girl? Zena Svetnik said, the superintendent of the Columbian Heights Public School District, located just north of Minneapolis, said at a news conference, "You cannot tell me that this child is going to be classified as a violent criminal." 5-year-old Liam Cone Ramos and his father, who the Department of Homeland Security identified as Adrian Alexander Conez Ares in an email statement, were detained in their driveway Tuesday afternoon just as they were returning from the child's school, according to a news release from Columbia Heights Public School. Now, this man is an illegal immigrant. And when ICE approached, he ran, leaving the 5-year-old child standing there. One of the ICE agents stayed with the child. The other ICE agent took off after the illegal immigrant. When you get arrested, if you have kids, your kids are separated from you because they don't put your kid in the jail cell with you. This is something that is as mundane an activity, a law enforcement activity, as it can possibly be. Every day people are arrested. Every day people are separated from their children because we don't throw kids in jail with adults. But the way that the left has been portraying it is that this child was detained. ICE is so mean and so bad, and they're just detaining children and they just want to throw kids in jail. And doesn't that just tug at your heartstrings? Well, it's all BS. It's all a lie. So I don't know that there's any remedy for this, because again, the Washington Post reports it. Actually, here from Homeland Security, ICE did not target a child. The child was abandoned. On January 20th, ICE conducted a targeted operation to arrest Adrian Alexander Conez Ares, an illegal alien from Ecuador who was released into the U.S. by the Biden administration. Agents approached the driver, Adrian Alexander Conez Ares, fled on foot, abandoning his child. For the child's safety, one of our ICE officers remained with the child while the other officers apprehended Conez Ares. Parents were asked if they wanted to be removed with their children, or ICE will place the children with a safe person the parent designates. This is consistent with the past administration's immigration enforcement. Parents can take control of their departure and receive a free flight and $2,600 with the CBP Home app. By using the CBP Home app, illegal aliens reserve the chance to come back the right legal way. Look, man, if the government is offering you $3,000 to get out of the United States and you're here illegally and then you could come back, that is the way to do it. Right? Like, you don't want to get picked up by ICE and then lose the possibility of coming back. Take the money and run and file your paperwork and come here legally.
I agree with that. It's don't put your family at risk. It's a risk, and people are like, "Good Lord, you know where it's back where I came from." It's a risk I'm willing to, but like, bro, don't be a fugitive for the next 30 years. Like, if you're here illegally, it's not a horrible idea to consider.
Self-deport.
Yeah.
It reminds me of the kids in cages controversy. I don't know if we're turning back the clock here. Like, Unc may have to lay this out for, no, I'm just kidding. Everyone remembers the kids in cages, where the left was literally making the argument that we should be throwing children in general population prisons. Like, that was the legitimate argument they're making, is they're like, no, you should detain the children with the parents and then put the kids in detainment centers with like other adults. Like, are we new around? Not to mention all of the trafficking going on. It's the same thing where it's just like they've latched onto this battle cry that actually doesn't really make any sense under just the lightest bit of scrutiny, and it's just bizarre. But the thing is, like, they already got their talking point. There's nothing we can say to someone in the audience. There's probably no one watching that would be supporting of this sort of talking point. But no matter what you say to someone on the left, explaining this out, explaining what the procedure is, what happened, it doesn't matter. They're entrenched. This is the talking point.
They're abusing language. They're saying detained as if it's like, okay, so what other word would you prefer to use?
Yeah.
Like if you were arrested and you had a 13-year-old kid in the house, they have to do something, or a 10-year-old kid or whatever. It doesn't matter that he's 5. And then by them framing, it's like they would only detain him if they thought he was a violent combatant or something. It's like, so what else do? You leave the 5-year-old at the house?
I mean, look, if you were honest, they could have said that if they wanted, if the press was honest, they could say that the child was in the care of
exactly
ICE, because that's what it was. They were taking care of the 5-year-old because it's freezing out, and you don't leave a kid standing there like, well, that's 5 years old with no idea what's going on, being like, why did my dad run away from me? Why is my dad being chased by the cops? Like, the ICE officers are trying to take care of the child's best interest by not letting the kid stand there in the freezing cold.
Yeah.
But the media want not just, and this is the big problem, right? Rep. Jimmy Gomez says ICE just used a 5-year-old boy as bait, forcing him to knock on his own door so they could arrest his father. Trump, ICE, and CBP don't see these families as people, and that's exactly how they're treating them. That is just absolutely BS.
Yeah.
But an actual congressperson is saying this. Another one, Mayor Jacob Fry, 5 years old. This is a child, not a threat to our community. When the federal government treats kids like criminals, something has gone seriously wrong. Totally made up, making everything worse. Now, I mean, Jacob Fry is absolute garbage, right? Like, if this guy actually cared about the people in his community, he would be helping to apprehend the criminal aliens and turning them over. But he doesn't want to do that. And then there was one thing that I saw. Chuck Todd had made a comment. He said, the lack of empathy, is it a feature or a bug? And it's like, Chuck, then I chimed in here and I ratioed the crap out of him. You're either an active propagandist or a gullible fool. And that's exactly what he's an active propagandist, obviously.
Yes.
It's simple to find the information of actually what happened. I'm sure that he follows ICE or the Department of Homeland Security on X. He could just read their statement, but he doesn't.
Yeah.
And he leaves the tweet up.
Chuck Todd, it's kind of useful that he kind of looks like Jim Cramer, because he really is the Jim Cramer of politics, where it's like generally the position he has on any sort of incident, the opposite position is probably the correct take to have. So, this is just the lack of empathy. You should be thankful that ICE is even like demonstrating empathy in the first place, because like that's, again, their job is to just conduct an operation. So the fact that they actually are taking care of these kids, that they actually are demonstrating a degree of empathy is great, because it's like, look around the world how their federal police handle affairs, and you'll find pretty quickly that the United States is actually an outlier. Certainly not the norm.
Imagine how stupid you would have to believe that, or you have to be to believe that ICE just swarmed this 5-year-old kid.
Yeah.
It's like, oh no, they treated this kid like if there was an actual video of what actually happened with the kid, I bet it's very nice and very friendly. But they're painting it as if they rappelled down from a helicopter and tackled him into the door.
It's like the Emilio Gonzalez picture from the 90s where the guy's pointing an MP5 at the kid, to grab him. And that happened in the United States, but that was 30 years ago now. And this is not the way that law enforcement behaves at all anymore, because everyone has a phone in their pocket with a video camera, and law enforcement can't afford to behave like that. They have to do everything they can to abide by the law, and they do. They try to use as little force as possible. That's why having body cameras has been the best thing that's happened to law enforcement in forever. Because there's so many people that are so quick to say, oh, well, law enforcement does this, law enforcement does that, and they're so bad and blah, blah, blah. See the body camera. And it exonerates the police officers every time.
Well, they're making hay when the sun shines. They're looking for absolutely anything to make you look like an inhuman monster. It's just sad that people will actually see this and believe it. That's the part that blows my mind the most. Not so much that they're doing it because they're trying to make something out of nothing, but that people actually do believe this, that this is actually happening as they're framing it.
Don't you think that that's motivated, though? That they believe it because they want to believe it, and then they engage in it. They engage in spreading the story because they want other people to believe it, and they want other people to feel the same kind of anger at ICE, regardless of whether it's justified?
I just think that, I don't know if it's chicken or the egg, but I mean that the fact that people will see something like that from Chuck Todd and be like, wow, or from Mayor Fry and say, wow, they're treating him like a violent combatant. Like, the fact that people believe that is crazy. The fact that they're posting about it is unsurprising to me, is what I'm trying to say. Like, that there is a person on the other end on X that's logging on and seeing that and being like, can you believe how these ICE agents are treating these 5-year-olds, without even looking into it? These guys playing on their emotions, that to me seems par for the course. But the fact that people actually believe it is what I'm so surprised about.
Man, the body cams really were like a total gift for the right.
They were.
Like, when's the last time you saw any hubbub over an unarmed black man being shot? It just hasn't happened since the advent of the body cameras. And yeah, the left were the ones that pushed for it. I think if the right knew how that played out, they would have been like, yeah, sign us up. I do remember like the right was at the first, I was like, I don't know, maybe. Hilarious. And we've gotten some like really hilarious photos out of it. Like that one lady that I think she like threw boiling water on the cop and then she like charged at him with a knife, and it created like the funniest photo I've ever seen in my life. So it's like total libtard self-own with that move. I wouldn't be surprised if they're advocating against body cameras because it's an invasion of your rights or something like that in the near future, because it's been such a disaster for them.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to robot cops, but I don't want to hijack the conversation.
Oh, the robot cops, dude?
Cops.
No. The body camera will stream straight to Lively.
Yeah, it'll be 360 body cams, so you can like go into the 360 video and watch it from any direction. And,
dude,
and you can't blame the robot. You can only blame the system.
The RoboCop, dude, it's going to be like the kill cam and COD.
But my question is, who's going to install robot cops first? Democrats or Republicans?
Do you remember the guy in Dallas that got blown up by a robot cop? So there was a dude that was shooting at the cops, and he was behind Jersey barriers, so he's got cover. And the cops are just like, well, send the robot in. He sent the robot in and just blew it up and killed the guy. So that's already happened. Robot cops exist now.
They detonate? They can
I'm not
detonate.
sure exactly. I'm not sure exactly how it went down, but they just went over. They went over, and the robot took the guy out. But the idea of robot cops, I don't think that the American people are ever going to be comfortable with totally autonomous law enforcement. But I do think that you'll see in the coming probably 5 years, you'll see a lot more robot partners. Right.
So Elon said that today. Did you see his post about it?
I'm not saying that there won't be robot cops. There'll be robots that will go and do the dangerous stuff, but there will probably be an actual human being with them. That's why I'm saying like robot partners. So in the car, you've got one human being cop, and he'll be backed up by a robot.
And then like a robot dog.
I do think that's true.
Yeah.
What was that?
A couple robot dogs in the back if they need them out of the trunk or something.
I mean, maybe. Look, man, robots are going to be so cheap and everywhere. Nowadays, you can get, there's actual humanoid robots that I posted a link and some stuff about it a couple of months back, probably halfway through the year last year. And you can actually get a robot for your house right now. Humanoid robot. Yeah. They're around $20,000, $30,000. And I've said this a bunch of times. When you offer the upper middle class a $30,000 robot that you pay $500 a month for 72 months, and you've got, 6% financing or whatever, and it does your dishes, it picks up after you, it mows your lawn, that is going to be the hottest product. Elon Musk is totally right. That will be the hottest product in the country, because you're going to have basically this robot that gets consistent updates, downloads, anything that you want it to do. You can go ahead and type it. You'll be able to type into an AI and say, hey, I want my robot to do this, and it'll download it just like in the Matrix right into the robot, and then the robot can do it. You're going to see all of the low-skilled jobs, they're going to be gone because robots will do it. Because right now, you got to pay someone, say you're paying an illegal, right? You're a business owner, and you're paying illegals to pick strawberries, right? And you pay them under the table, and you end up paying them $25,000 a year, right? Total for the whole year. That's a huge amount of money for an illegal. They don't have to pay taxes on it. But if you can buy a robot for $25,000 and it lasts you 5 years, the math is simple. Obviously, you're going to buy the robot.
Well,
can't get deported.
Have you seen the? Yeah, it's so true. Have you seen the?
You can't get deported, or it won't be deported.
It's really tough to
and you don't have to worry about
it.
You don't have to worry about it getting sick.
They're really good at paperwork. ChatGPT, they just load it all in.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.